Hello everybody and welcome to another video on Ragnarok Online Origin Classic. Today we'll be talking about Freya Mirage, the latest 10-man raid dungeon that has been released in Ragnarok Online Origin Classic just yesterday during the level 90 limit. Now I've went in and tried both the easy and the hard mode with my party and found easy to be a little bit too easy, that it's not a good way to learn the mechanics of the dungeon, so I went ahead and did hard with the current level cap, and it is very doable even at the current level cap. You just need to know a couple of the mechanics of each stage, and you need your entire party to know the mechanics as well. So without further ado, let's check out each stage, what you need to do, and also the best way to do it. Now, let's talk about the party composition that is required at this current point of time for the Freya Hard, or in the future the Freya Nightmare difficulty. At the moment, you will definitely need a paladin for your party because it will require some heavy damage receiving from especially the stage 3 boss, but if you have a paladin for the first 2 stages, that will make your life a lot easier as well. So a full tank paladin is definitely needed. He needs to prepare the cards as required in order to be able to survive hits from the boss. Next up, you're going to need at least 1 priest and 1 performer in each party. It can be a bard or a dancer, it doesn't matter, you're really only using them for their heals. But if you have attack speed classes, then maybe a dancer will be better for you. If not, a bard with the healing will be enough for your team. So that means that you will have 1 paladin, 2 high priests, 2 performers, and the rest you can just really fill it with whatever. Ideally, you would have enough DPS to damage the boss at a fast clip. In my video above, you can see that we are running, despite us running with 4 DPS, 3 biochems and 1 high wizard. Realistically, only the 3 biochems are really doing damage, but every single bit of damage counts, especially heading in towards the second phase, which is more of a damage check. The first stage boss is large, ghost, and formless, so make sure you equip your cards according to that boss. In the first 10% of the boss's HP, from 100% to 90%, the boss would be doing some random AoE such as the in and out or the lasers, but overall, if you have enough DPS in your party, you can skip the entirety of the first boss phase. Now, from the 90% HP point onwards, it enters what we call the ball phase. Each player from each team has to take 1 ball that will be spawning on either side of the map, on the left or the right, coming out from the white cat or the black cat. Now, if any one of the parties do not get the ball and it reaches the end of the at the end of the point, then it will trigger a full team wipe. So make sure that you separate your teams to identify who is taking which ball. Now, the easiest way to do this is you can use the party sequence. You can use the raid sequence on the top left. So the first player on the left team will be taking the left ball. The second player on the left team will be taking the second ball, and so on and so forth. Once your party is experienced enough, you won't really need to say these things out because they will already know who needs to take the ball and who cannot. Now, an easy way to see who has the ball is also a marking on the head, on the top of the head. So if you've already taken one of the balls before, you cannot take another ball. So if you look at the marking on top of your head, you will know that whether you have the option to take a ball or if you are already done with that mechanic. Each ball will be doing about 40,000 damage. So this is the HP check for the first phase. Make sure you have at least 40,000 HP. Or a lot of reduction for the boss. If you do, as long as you can survive the ball, you should be able to clear this stage pretty easily. Now, even if you cannot survive the ball, as long as the rest of your party does not take up too many resurrections, you are able to clear this stage as well. Now, the important part of saving the rest comes in towards the second phase of the boss, which we'll get into later. Now, after the ball phase, there will be an opening for the boss to start doing random AoE damage, such as the in and out and laser, like I said before. Now, if you have enough DPS in your party, you can skip this phase entirely. If you don't, you have to hit the boss. You have to survive the AoE damage from the boss and hit it to 50% as quickly as possible. Now, make sure if you have a lot of DPS in your party, you do not hit it below 40%, because if you do hit it below 40%, it will trigger multiple damage at a time. So you want to make sure you keep it below 50%, but do not bring the boss below 40% after the middle phase. Once the boss is below 50%, you want to head to the middle of the map and start healing each other. You can survive the AoE damage coming from the boss as long as you have the bard and the priest healing everyone else. Now, the hard part of this phase is making sure that everyone stands into the circle. 10 circles will spawn in the middle of the map, and each player must stand on an individual circle to clear the mark on top of your head, like I said earlier. Anyone not clearing it will not be able to take a ball in the second phase of the stage, and then that also means that they will not be able to clear the mechanics of the stage. So make sure everybody is designated as a specific circle, and once you are able to clear it out, the second half of the stage will be the same. At 40%, the second ball phase will start, and you will repeat the same mechanics as earlier until the boss is dead. Now, at random times of stage 1, there will be a circle, an AoE circle, that will be in red in color, that spawns on random players on your team. The way to survive this damage is, one, you either have to tank it through, but at the moment we might not have enough reductions to be able to survive it. So what you want to do, and this is applicable for all jobs with a movement skill, such as priests or wizards or even biochemists are able to clear this out, but not Lord Knights forever. What you want to do is you want to wait until the red circle is about to trigger. Like, you have to wait for it until it's fully filled up and teleport right before it explodes. So this might take some practice, this might take a little bit of repetition, but once you get it done, you should be able to clear stage 1 very easily. Stage 2 is probably the easiest out of the 3 stages in Freya's Mirage. There are 2 bosses that you will need to kill. It is Eva, which is the white cat, and Finn, the black cat. Eva is medium brute holy, while Finn is medium brute shadow. There's also going to be a bell spawning in the middle of the map, and the bell is small, formless, and neutral. So my suggestion is to just stay on small, formless, or neutral cards or element, so that you're able to kill the bell quickly, because that is the most important part of this stage. Now, there will be 2 balls spawning at the start of the map, which is the yellow ball or the black ball. The yellow ball holder will be luring Eva, while the black ball holder will be getting the aggro for Finn, which is the black cat. Now, the role of the yellow ball holder is to survive the white cat's damage and also lure it to exactly the middle of the map. The black ball holder has an easier job, which is to lure Finn on the outer edges of the map. Now, if these 2 bosses get too close to each other, they will be doing extra damage, basically one-hitting anyone that gets hit by any of their damage output, so you have to make sure that you keep them away from each other. At 75%, 50%, and 25% of Eva's HP, a bell will spawn in the middle of the map. Now, the reason why we are luring Eva to the dead center of the map is so that all the AoE damage that comes from your biochemists or your high wizards or any class with AoE will retain in the middle, and that will help you speed up the kill on the bell. Now, if you do not kill the bell before a certain amount of time before the 2 balls from the 2 bosses reaches the bell, you will trigger a full team wipe. So that is why we are luring Eva to the middle of the map. After the bell phases and once Eva is dead, all you need to do is lure Finn in smaller circles probably at the center of the map to allow everybody to attack Finn. Finn has a fixed pattern in terms of their attacks. There is the wide AoE attack, there is the donut, and there is the inner circle. And once you learn those patterns, you should be able to clear it very easily. And even if you don't, you just need to make sure that you avoid every single AoE damage that comes from the Black Cat, because it will one-hit you. Stage 3 is the hardest stage in terms of mechanics, because it not only requires you to be able to survive the damage, but it also tests the reaction times and movement of the entire team. There are 2 bosses in stage 3 as well. It is Eva the White Cat and Finn the Black Cat. Eva is medium, formless and holy, while Finn is medium, formless and shadow. For this stage, you will need the Paladin in the first stage to provoke the boss, as the boss deals a lot of damage. I think at nothing outside of a full tank Paladin is able to survive the damage at this point of the time, so the Paladin really needs to make sure he does not die to the boss. At certain timings, yellow or purple circles will start to spawn on random players on the team. The goal of this is to not have different colored circles overlap each other, or the whole team will be wiped. Which means that if you have a yellow or purple circle on 2 players and they stand close to each other, when the circles overlap, it will trigger the full team wipe. You can divide the map in half to make this easier. For example, the yellow circle always tries to put their circles on top of the boss, while the purple circle puts it below to make movement easier for the entire team. Continue DPSing the boss while doing these mechanics, and outside of these mechanics, once Eva is dead, Finn will spawn. For Finn, you don't really need to provoke the boss, as it doesn't really do a lot of damage. The main mechanic for Finn is that its AoE skills will mark you with a color if you're hit by its AoE damage. Now, if you're hit by another skill of the same color, it will immediately kill you off regardless of the damage it deals. So you have to make sure that you're not hit by 2 same color skills. You will notice that the skills coming from the boss have either a yellow hue or a purple hue on top of it. So you make sure you know the color on top of your head, and you will know what AoE skills that you need to avoid and what AoE skills you are able to tank. But for the most part, at this stage of the game, we probably cannot tank all of the hits anyways, so try and avoid all of the AoE damage as much as possible. There are 4 main attack patterns for Finn. There's the out phase, where you have to go out away from the boss. The laser phase, where it will shoot out 2 different color lasers, and the easiest way to avoid this is to not stand too close to the boss. The donut phase, which means that you have to stand under the boss, and the disco phase, which has crisscrossing colors that shoot across the map. And you can avoid this phase with a teleport. If you cannot avoid with a teleport, what you need to do is just make sure that you stand on a line that is not the same color as the markings on your head. The attack patterns just repeats over these few patterns, so once you get this down, you should be able to clear stage 3 very easily. And that is how you can clear Freya Hard or Freya Nightmare in the future, even though we are severely underpowered and underleveled at the moment. I hope you guys enjoyed this guide and hope that this will help you be able to clear out Freya Hard. In the meantime guys, make sure that you check out the rest of my content for our Classic. This is Zero, signing out.